This is me, Putty. I've completed my fourth task on cloud computing, and I'll walk you through all the steps which are required to complete this task. So, first of all, we'll be creating a virtual machine using the Microsoft Azure platform, and these are the steps to complete this first step. So, this is my Microsoft Azure portal page, and I can now search in here virtual machine just to complete my first step. So basically, virtual machine is a physical computer which has the same functionalities of a computer. And now I'll create my virtual machine by giving it a name which is unique. And first of all, before that, we have to create a resource group for that. So I had a resource group already, so I have selected that. And then here I'm naming my virtual machine, and I'll keeping the rest of the things as default. And here we need to make sure that we are selecting the size of the uh, virtual machine, which is present from the list. So now, for the authentication type, I have selected password, and accordingly, I'll be entering the username and password in the basic section, and then after that we'll be moving on to the disk section. Here we'll be selecting the OS disk type as standard SSD, and then uh, this is the fifth step which we have just completed to create a virtual machine. Now we'll be moving to the next section, that is networking section, and we'll keep the rest of the things here default. We'll let the uh, system to create its values, that is it will be automatically creating the subnets and the IP addresses. And now we'll review and create our virtual machine. It is just validating all the things which we have selected, and after that we'll click on create. It will take some time to deploy a service on the portal page, and now we have created a virtual machine. We'll now connect to it by clicking on the SSH button. So we'll connect to a virtual machine with the help of Putty, which is basically an open source application that supports multiple network protocols such as SSH, Telnet, SCP. So as we were assigned in our task to connect using SSH, so we'll copy the external IP of our virtual machine and we'll paste here as entered our as we have entered our login and password during the time of creation of our VM. So we'll enter the same login credentials over here so as to enter to our virtual machine. Now we'll give an update to our virtual machine so as to check our host name whether we have entered in our VM or not. Yeah. So as you can see that the virtual machine or the host name written over there is task-4vm, which is same as the virtual machine we have created in the Azure portal. So we have completed half of the steps. Now we'll move on to the next step, that is to, as it is mentioned that we can use any of the service other than virtual machine. So we'll be creating a web app so as to deploy any service or any static page or any of the website. So basically, for that purpose, the web app is used. So now we'll enter the details here as to create our web app. I'll name it as task for web app, and we'll be using Windows operating system for that. We can also use Linux. And now we'll select a Windows plan for that web app service, and I'll name it as follows. Now we'll review our details, and we'll click on create, and it will be deploying our service. Yeah, this is our app service, and I think our web app has also created in this resource group. This is our app service plan, and in the same resource group, our web app has also been created. Now, this is Visual Studio, in which we'll write up our code and deploy our service on the web app. We'll select a blank HTML page in which we'll be writing up some of the code, and we'll be deploying the same. So this is basically an HTML page in which we are writing up some code over here, and we'll publish it, or you publish it on any of the browser, so that we can test our static page with the help of Microsoft Azure web app. So this is how our web app is created, and we'll just have a preview over what we should get as an output. So that was running on the local host. Now, with the help of our web app, which is present in this resource group, we'll deploy that static page, which was running on the local host, onto our website. Right. So this is we have written a simple testing code, and now we'll publish this using the web app. We have named this HTML page as default. I'm once again running this page to just check whether it is running on the local host or not. So this is running now on the local host. Now we'll publish this page. Uh, we can just right click on the main folder, and there is an option called publish over here. We can click on it, and now we can select the existing path of the app service. Here our subscription will be listed, and all the app services which we have created will be listed over here, and we'll select that now. Task for web app, we'll select it, and we'll click on OK. So now our HTML page is being published, and we can check it after it's done. Yeah, so our basic HTML page has been published, and with the help of Microsoft Azure web app. With this, I have completed all the steps which are present in this task, that is cloud computing, which was given by the Sparks Foundation. So thank you.